My name is Anne-Marie Edgar, and I'm the Executive Director of Make a Change Canada. Welcome to our information session. Let's get acquainted. Today is Wednesday, May the 13th, 2015. Thank you for joining us. In the room today, on my left, is Mary Alton. Mary works as our service coordinator, and she's a wonderful colleague, and it's just a great pleasure to have her with us today.
Thanks, it's great to be here today.
On my left is Douglas Tardif. Douglas?
On your right.
Right, my right. I don't have two lefts.
No.
You're my right arm, that's for sure. And he's the team leader in the Business Abilities program. And we've really been working together for many years, the three of us, so this is lovely.
I think between the three of us, we've been here almost 20 years, I believe, at any rate.
Oh, more so.
More so?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is...
We're almost quarter century.
That's true.
Between the three of us.
Yeah. So anyway, and we built up a little bit of suspense around our session today. We are actually broadcasting from a location in downtown Nelson at the gyre.ca. .io actually, and Kayleen has the link if you'd like to check it out. It's a historical building. It's actually a co-sharing office, and we have a nice little meeting room within the office space. So this is great. This is our surprise location, and behind us is Baker Street. We hope it's very city TV-like, and you see some traffic behind us in busy old Nelson. So yeah, there's the link. Thanks, Kayleen. So what are we going to cover today? Just as an overview, I'm going to talk about who we are and what we do, our clients and the area that we serve, our programs, which are Web Essentials and Web Advanced and Business Abilities. I want to talk as well about what's happening at Make a Change Canada. Also, I really want to focus in on the fact that we are a registered Canadian charity and people are becoming involved in our organization, so I'm going to present some options if that is the sort of inclination that some of our guests today have. Also, I'll just close off with some information on how to get in touch with us should you require information in future. So during the presentation, please feel free to ask any questions you may have. You can either type into the chat area and we'll monitor for your questions, or you can also raise your hand at any time, but with one notation that it can be difficult for us to see that there is no alarm going off, an audio alarm, so just be aware that we may not pick up on it, but I do welcome you to raise your hand. And also use the microphone. So this is really an interactive opportunity, an interactive session here today. I want to begin by talking about the history of Make a Change Canada and a little bit about our theme. We have recently rebranded the organization. We renamed it through a wonderful legal process. We're now Make a Change Canada. Faire un changement Canada. We are a bilingual organization, and we've come to know our organization as helping Canadians from coast to coast realize their full potential. I really like that. I think that really sums up who we are. And that's really how the new name came about. We wanted to find a name that describes what we do. And I think we really hit it on the nose. We used to be called Canadian Society for Social Development, and we were recently renamed. We had focus groups. Some of our clientele and our colleagues came into focus groups, and this was the result. The organization was founded by a woman named Kay Ryan in 2004, and we're federally incorporated. And in 2005, we became a registered charity. We have roots in the Community Futures Pan-Canadian organization, and we're a virtual organization, so that's quite interesting, with employees in BC, Alberta, and in Ontario. To date, we have served over 1,900 clients. Kayleen pasted a link into the chat area that is our success story booklet, and at the beginning of the success story booklet is a very good history of the organization from the early years. So that's a good reference if you're interested to read a little more. Our mission here is specifically Make a Change Canada develops and delivers business startup and web technology training to people facing challenges to employment. This training is delivered from our program websites and features a self-paced and supportive learning environment. Through our online curriculum and our skilled and caring service teams, Make a Change Canada is empowering others to realize their full potential. So, just in a nutshell, to visualize what we do here at Make a Change Canada, we have two programs. The IBDE program, which is the Web Essentials, Web Advanced that I spoke about. It was originally known as the Internet Business Development for Entrepreneurs program. I'll explain a little more, but it's really grown to be more than just about entrepreneurs building websites. We'll get into more of the labor market piece as I present specifically on the IBDE program. And then we have the Business Abilities program as well, which is a program specifically for people who self-identify as living with a disability. And what we do is help people to plan, research, and eventually start a business. So that's the whole idea there. But at the heart of it is, through all our work, it's helping people. And that's what I have in the middle there. This is really about people. And I think we become more and more and more that sort of a focused organization over time, or at least realizing that we really have the heart and care about clients and are coming to our programs. So it really permeates everything that we do here, is the caring and the helping. So again, yeah, focus on helping people. I wanted to get really a nice shot of our whole staff in here. It's a neat organization where we can really form relationships, really good working relationships, even though we live in different provinces. So we've been working together almost 9 years, Doug, Mary, and I, and you know, it's a really, I do have to say, I like this organization. What can I say? I think we all do. So we're a registered Canadian charity that helps people get a new start, and we love what we do. But more so than that, we also have volunteers involved in our organization, and again, the focus is really on helping people. Our volunteers are helping us in our work, and they are making a big difference. For instance, we had a project last year where we got volunteers working together to closed caption our training videos for the IBDE program, and that was really neat. And Kayleen herself, who's in the classroom, who's actually an employee of ours, our technology coordinator, and one of our graduates, worked on that volunteer project. So we got a chance to work with Kayleen and eventually hired her. And so that was really a neat experience, staying just ahead of the students and closed captioning the training videos last year. And then during the spring and summer of 2014, we worked with a virtual team of volunteers, and we've actually just now achieved an accreditation. And we wouldn't have been able to do that without our volunteers. It was really an amazing experience. Just such talented people coming our way to help us achieve something very, very important. So we're very proud of becoming accredited, and that's an accreditation under the Imagine Canada Standards program that will help to build confidence among donors that we're an organization who's really meeting the grade. We're building a new team of volunteers, and we have a number already started, because we're planning for an extravaganza, just like this, a live event, but a little more lively, to be held this October. So we've got volunteers working on marketing, events management, helping me with a bit of fundraising, and we're pulling together an extravaganza. I'll give you more information on that. We've never really been an organization that involves so many volunteers, but That's starting to happen now. However, we have always had volunteers writing for our newsletter, and that continues to this day. So we've had people writing columns for our newsletter.
I think it's such an amazing thing too, Anne-Marie, and just even from a couple recent communications with clients, it's just having somebody say to you that, you know, they really loved the opportunity to get involved in the programs that we offer, and hearing a client say, you know, I'd love to be able to do something to give back, you know, and would be happy to volunteer a little bit of time on a small scale project or a larger project, just because they feel that this experience has been meaningful for them. You know, so it's very humbling for me to be able to hear that from a client, to know that, you know, we've made some small difference, and they'd like to say, okay, you know, how can we contribute? How can we contribute to keep this all going? So
Nice.
it's pretty amazing to see just how many people want to get involved. So it's fantastic. It really is.
Yeah, and if I can mention it, Jackie Hendricks, who's in the room, is actually helping me with a very important project right now. So very much appreciated. And we've been having some fun meetings in Skype. So focusing now on our clientele, where do our clients live? Our clients are all across the country, from tip to tip. We've had clients from Haida Gwaii in the west to the tip of Newfoundland. We really see the concentrations of clients based in BC and Ontario, and more so in the Maritimes, and then sort of a few here and there among the prairie provinces. That's the general population distribution over the country. So, and as I mentioned, it's a bilingual organization, so we also have clients from New Brunswick who can benefit from French language website and services, as well as from Quebec. So Doug's our bilingual business coach.
Which is why we're all looking at him intently.
Actually, it's interesting because French was my first language when I was growing up, and I'm often asked, why don't you have a French accent? And it's because I've lived in Ontario and everywhere else in this world, and it vanished suddenly after a few years. So it's nice to be able to use French. I've got a couple of clients right now, and we're doing all of the coaching on Skype in French, and it's such a joy because I don't get an opportunity very frequently to use French and to get it going and the old brain synapses going and remembering the words that you lay dormant for a number of years, as it were.
Nice. So that was Business Abilities distribution. So there's generally more clients active at a time in Business Abilities, and then on IBDE, the distribution is similar. Just a few less clients going in that program. So who are our clients and what brings them to Make a Change Canada? I thought it would be nice to do just a little bit of a word collage. Well, I think this gives you a bit of an idea. The large proportion of our clients are people living with a disability. A lot of people have families to care for. There are people with an entrepreneurial inclination coming our way, as well as job seekers. There are university graduates on the one hand, and then there are people lacking formal education on the other. So it's really a wide variety, between youth to older workers, all over the map. People caring for their children, people caring for their parents. People face so many challenges nowadays, and we really see the whole range. The other interesting thing is that more and more we're seeing individuals who have children living with disabilities becoming clients in our programs. So that's been really interesting. And it can be hard to hold down a job when your child has an extreme disability. You just can only slip away so many times to care for your child. Your employer is just not going to tolerate that forever. So it can be hard. And we're seeing more and more people in that situation coming to our programs.
And it's amazing to me just the diversity of the individuals that we see coming into both programs. So really just incredible people with amazing life experiences so far, but with a lot of dreams to continue their journey and just have some more positive experiences, which makes it, you know, pretty special for us, you know.
So I just wanted to start with a client success story. And Colin is from British Columbia, and he really, I guess, kind of typifies a client coming to our programs. He completed the Web Essentials and Web Advanced programs previously and is now a successful web developer. And in fact, Colin does web development work for us on a part-time basis as well. He said, when I heard about the IBDE course, I wasn't working, but I was very intrigued about pursuing a career in website design. Through guided instruction, I mastered graphic and website design techniques. Throughout the course, I pushed myself to exceed the teacher's expectations. The instructors of the IBDE course were always helpful to provide support when needed. They were very impressed with my internship project. So I won't read the second paragraph, but it is there. Colin's been very successful at his undertaking. He's a successful entrepreneur, and he was drawn to our program because he did have a job, actually, but he was having to commute. I think it was about an hour and a half, and he's a wheelchair user, so it was getting physically painful, actually, to have to commute to out into the community in order to work. So he's a great guy. We're in touch quite often in terms of website work here. The really interesting thing is that over about the course of the last year, I've become very much aware that not only is this about helping people in their careers, but it's helping people be able to get by. So it's a chance to earn some extra income for a lot of people, and that can mean an awful lot. I really like these quotations. First from Clientele from British Columbia. It has been very difficult to come to terms with the changes in my life since the accident that left me with a brain injury 3 years ago. Programming in a quiet room is one of the few options I now have to contribute financially in my home. With this training, I have also been able to participate again in the business my husband and I built over the last 14 years. We are now able to offer web design as an option for our customers. And again, it just gives an indication, I think, Willie, what he has to say with being at your last rope, just sort of at the edge and then having the opportunity to advance. The program was very detailed and very instructive. The program helped us tremendously, and it will help us make a living. Being a disabled person, I need that because I can't go out to work. This program allowed me to set up a home-based business for me and my wife to work at home. So I really like those quotations. And then to give a visual idea of the clients coming to our programs, as we mentioned, there's a big diversity. But really what we find is that overall our clients are talented, determined, and savvy, but it's just that they're stuck and they need a specialized program in order to get moving back on course in their careers again. I'm going to talk about Web Essentials, Web Advanced, our web development program. It's offered in collaboration with Selkirk College. So it's a college-accredited program, and it's a fundable one. And it's open to anyone, so unlike Mezz Disabilities, anyone can be accepted into Web Essentials, Web Advanced, provided they meet the eligibility criteria. And there's a basic computer skills assessment as part of the intake and an interview involved. The start dates, Web Essentials starts again on October 19th. 2015, and then next year's Web Advanced will start May 30th, 2016. We do have a Web Advanced program beginning June the 1st this year again, and it's quite good. I think we've got about 9 students taking the advanced program this summer.
And that's quite average for us. Normally our advanced program, we have a bit of a smaller group, but majority of them are all graduates of our recent Web Essentials program, so it's fantastic to see students going on and moving to the advanced level of courses. It's fantastic.
It really is. It really makes a big difference for students to take the advanced, because the skills are highly marketable in the marketplace. And what we heard when we researched our prior grads was that they can charge more for their work, and they really are seeing a lot more demand for their services than if they just had the Essentials certificate. So the skills gained in the programs are coding, HTML5 and CSS3, Photoshop, proper design technique. We are strong proponents that you just can't move into web development, and I really think people would be doing themselves a disservice by not receiving training in the field, so we do stick by that. They learn web marketing, which is your search engine optimization, and linking, PHP, MySQL web programming, very, very marketable, e-commerce, designing for mobile, building custom templates, and WordPress content management systems. There's also a practicum component where, as the final course, students build their own custom designed website, either for themselves or for a business or organization in their community. And the fees are just down at the left-hand corner, $3,995 for the Web Essentials, plus the CS6 software, and $495 for each Web Advanced course. And there's 4 courses in the Web Advanced program. I should mention that Web Essentials is a 6-month program and Web Advanced is a 4-month program. So this is part of the reason why graduates are quite successful, is because given the challenges that our students typically face, the shorter time frame is ideal for people facing such life challenges.
I think the great thing is, for those students that maybe just can commit to the 6-month program to get themselves started and at least build a foundation for that career path, if they choose to come back and revisit their training and upgrade, they're always welcome to do that. So while I mentioned that we have quite a number of graduates attending the advanced program this year, sometimes we see people coming back a year or 2 later saying, okay, now I'm ready, I'm getting more demand, I need to take the next level.
We're actually seeing a lot of students come back and repeat the program 5 or 6 years later, and in fact Marlene's done that, and that's really neat. That's really nice for us to see people come back, because skills need to be kept fresh in the industry. What Mary's saying is very true. It's not that students need the Web Advanced program. I want to emphasize that. We do see students succeeding with the Web Essentials. And what's really interesting is that this isn't about information technology any longer. It's the technology skills. So what we can see, for instance, is a student who has worked previously in administration, comes out with the web technology certificate, and now can actually get a job, let's say in a nonprofit, because they can update the website, because they can write the blog, and so on and so forth. So that typically could be an older worker, it could be a youth. We've seen both cases, but because of the training, because of the college certificate, they're able to get the employment that they couldn't previously. So then we're also seeing another type of client, let's call this, with a background in event management, media relations, marketing. Coupled with the web technology skills, we have a client living in Salmon Arm who isn't looking back. She's turning work away, being highly successful, and so she works in updating websites, and she's also doing social media and all that end of things for businesses. People getting hired into business simply, again, can update a website, can hook up some e-commerce for the business and so on and so forth. And again, we are seeing graduates coming out of Web Essentials being hired as junior developers as well. So people are getting into web development, but very, very interestingly, they're getting jobs that you would normally consider quite mainstream as a result of having technology skills. The key here is that graduates are gaining competencies that employers and customers today desire. That's the key. We have a graduate who I am super amazed with. This just really typifies what can happen. Again, talented, savvy, got the web technology certificate, and Kayleen, I don't know if you have that link handy for the Breaking Boards, Breaking Chains, Martial Arts for Justice. This is one of our graduates who was the artistic director for the website, and she's gained the position of being their national campaign manager. So she's been out filming, making videos, and she directed the whole development of this website, which is just fantastic. So she's been able to achieve that in a matter of about 3 years. It can take people sometimes a little longer to find that right career and their passion, but when it happens, those technology skills really are helpful. So, I do want to mention that all the examples, the clients whose stories and photos and websites that I'm presenting, I do have their permission to provide that information to our group today. So moving along, Cam from Ontario completed Web Essentials and Web Advanced 2 years ago in 2013. And Cam actually now has a blog that he writes, and it's about bipolar disorder. And it's fantastic. I do recommend reading some of his blog posts to get a real good insight into what it's like to be living with bipolar disorder. He's a fantastic man, fantastic young individual. And he quickly after graduating got a placement building websites with a business in the community, and he sent this email to us one day. It's a little long to read. Again, I think I'll just read the beginning to give you a feel for how happy he was. He said, "Hey all, I have had a really good week. Here is some good news. After notifying the job coordinator of my completion of IBDE's program, I received a job posting via email Tuesday. I contacted the company Wednesday and landed an informal interview the same day. I had a 15-minute meeting with the head of the company in the afternoon and started at 8 a.m. the next day for a work trial." So he goes on, it's a bit of play-by-play, but he got the job officially, and he said that it looks like finishing school in a highly popular field was a good choice. Cam mentioned that he previously didn't finish university due to his illness, so I think he was really excited about all this positive movement in his life. And he always ends his emails with "have a good one," and thanks Cameron. So I just wanted to share his story with you. Cameron's now in our Business Abilities program. He has a background in video production, so I believe he's developing a business in that area now. Again, just a bit of a visual showing the variety of clientele coming out of the IBDE program. Again, the challenges are large, but with flexible and supportive programming that's online, the vast majority succeed in our programs. Graduation day at Selkirk College is always a wonderful experience, so I do encourage our graduates to come out if you're able. So I just wanted to take a moment here to check in with everyone. Have we identified any issues that resonate with you? What do you think of our program so far? And has there been any surprises in any of the information that I've presented here today? I'll give you a chance to write into the chat area or click on your microphone if you'd like to make a comment. a bit of an icebreaker. So Marlene has to say it's an excellent program. The issues definitely resonate. Nice to hear, Marlene. And Jackie says she's just more impressed. Thanks, Jackie. Nice, okay, well thanks for your comments. Nice, thanks Jackie. Okay, well let's get on then to business abilities. So Business Abilities is again an online program. This is in entrepreneurship and career planning, where clients research their business idea, prepare their financials, and produce a business plan. Participants then proceed to the business startup phase. So it's a little bit different in that it's interesting that a certain number of our clients find that they think they'll be better off getting employment rather than becoming self-employed. So we do provide a certain amount of limited assistance with a job search, but generally we will refer clients back to the community to receive some specialized job search assistance. But this is happening with more regularity. So I think it's a great program that people are really making some wise, well thought out decisions, and it gives people that gateway. It's not a loss not to become an entrepreneur.
Oh, it's not a loss at all. The program is structured so that it gives them an opportunity to explore self-employment. And in the exploration of self-employment, you look at all your skills and you look at all the transferable skills that you're going to bring to to your business. And there are just some things sometimes that don't make it right for you to be in business. You're better off being employed. There might be some immediate cash requirement situations, might be some family requirements. And when they make that decision, it's never a failure because you took the time to actually explore it with the help of a seasoned business coach as well to assist you along the way. So you weren't operating on pure emotion, you were rationally looking at it point by point and doing a proper evaluation. So it's a good process to go through.
Nice, thanks Doug. The Business Abilities program is available free of charge to people who self-identify as living with a disability, and that's now about 15% of the Canadian population. The intake is continuous, so it isn't just at certain times of the year. We generally take new clients into the program once every month. And we did a research study in 2014, at least we did it over the course of 2012 to 2014. And this image came out of that research study. We studied the population and asked people what are their disabilities. We asked, do you enjoy your daily life? What's the quality of your life? A lot of demographics. It was really, really interesting for us, and we learned so much from the research, even though we've been working with this clientele for at least 6 years at that point in time. But what we have here is an image just displaying the type of disability that people are living with in the program, and there's an awful lot of mental health issues. A lot of mental health issues, there's a lot of mobility issues, spinal cord injuries, but the really interesting thing I think about our organization is we're just so used to it now. This is what we work in, and we really focus on the career development and not on what might be not working and what is working. And the program's working for people with mental health issues. So I just think it's an interesting visual to see the predominance of mental health issue in our clientele.
Well, I think it's such a representation too of all the things, all the challenges that people are facing. and despite that, they still want to move forward with their dreams, with what they're passionate about, with establishing something that continues to give them enjoyment in their life. So it's quite incredible to see some of the things people are overcoming, and yet they're still like, okay, I'm facing this, but here's to the next challenge, and that's starting up a new business, and they're excited about it.
That's true too, and I can honestly say that a number of years ago, when I was working with a number of other business coaches, my colleagues, we realized that we had a preponderance of clients with mental health issues. And we became quite concerned about it because this was something new for us. We hadn't realized that it was a growing population, or at least, I don't know so much if it's a growing population or it's more socially acceptable to discuss it now than it used to be. But for one reason or another, we had quite a number of clients. And our greatest fear as a business coach, as business coaches, was that we wanted to provide the same level of service that we had been preparing for those who had other challenges. And we wanted to make sure that we didn't say anything that would place the client in jeopardy. And we had a very long and detailed discussion amongst ourselves as to what we should do, what should the outcomes, should there be a greater or lesser expectation in the outcomes of our interactions with clients with mental health issues. And I'm glad we did that, because today we deal with it like anything else taking place. We're totally oblivious to any of the disabilities of any of our clients, regardless of what it is. We're dealing with, when you were speaking earlier, the word that came forward for me, we're dealing with people with so much courage. And it is so outstanding, to meet these individuals and to discuss what they want to do and the things that they want to accomplish in their life. And courage is the word that comes across every single time.
Thank you. Marlene says it's a big self-challenge and it's great to feel successful. So again, a simple visual, what does the BA program offer? We have a website, and that's really at the heart of everything. And from that, clients complete worksheets which lead to the development of a business plan in a real natural way. We hold classroom sessions weekly or bi-weekly, much like this. And the business coaches have a wonderful series of sessions called Start This Business, where they talk about actual businesses that have come out of the Business Ability program, actual successful entrepreneurs, different techniques such as cost-saving measures, and so on and so forth. That's a really nice new addition to the program. And of course, our business coaches, that's really the fourth component. And I can't speak more highly of our business coaches. I think if you just heard what Doug had to say, the program really runs itself. It's a fabulous program.
Well, I think one thing that always comes through when I speak to our various clients is just having somebody to talk to who's been there, done that, had failures, had successes, had struggles, and gone through the process many times over is just huge, because the worksheets are so valuable, but being able to actually talk to someone and say, hey, here's what I worked on, here are my questions, here are some of the things that really struck me, here are some things I didn't consider, or, here are things I realized I was very aware of, and it's just reinforced what I already knew. So I think just the interactions with the business coaches is so huge and so important in the process of people exploring self-employment.
One of the, yesterday when I was in Cranbrook, we were meeting with a group of individuals who would be starting up a business collectively. And the fellow that is going to be the face of the organization, I asked him just a general question, what was the best thing he liked about the BA program? And what he appreciated the most was the fact that he could meet on a weekly basis on Skype. and have the benefit of speaking to all of the business coaches. We're all there. Jim is there, Coach Chantal is there, and myself. And he said, all three of you are different individuals. You bring a different perspective to the business. And what's nice is that we get all three perspectives, and then when we sit down and we discuss what we've just been through, we have three different points of view. Not one is better than the other. They're just three different points of view. Mm-hmm. And it's so, and he said, this is so good for us. You have no idea.
Wow, nice. Yeah. And again, just the business coaches. I think that that's really the value of the program, is having a personal business coach for professional guidance and follow-up. Our business coaches are true entrepreneurs that have been engaged in several different businesses in different manners, right from invention, new product development, a lot of new business, green business, and so on and so forth. So it's really been all over the map. There's a breadth of experience. There's quick response times. There are good responses coming back to clients. The coaches review financial documents and the business plans. They can help clients get the documents ready for presentation to go for a loan in the community. And we're also a sounding board, just to test out those ideas with somebody on a, not a blaming basis, just a very accepting atmosphere. We can also provide additional business mentorship support during the business startup phase. And that's the really interesting thing about this program, is that it doesn't have a set start and end date. It's very flexible and very well suited to people living with disabilities, because disability can intensify at any time. Life circumstances can take hold, and the program ebbs and flows in line with the individual's needs. So it's pretty fantastic in that respect. You can see that it's funded through the Government of Canada Opportunities Fund for Persons with Disabilities. And I mean, if I could say something kind, they have really well formulated that program to specifically offer programming that works for people with disabilities. So we're proud to be a project sponsor for the Government of Canada. Here we go again. This came out of the research project that I was mentioning, and this is what clients noticed about the program. Exactly what Doug heard yesterday in Cranbrook. The coaches, that's the key. That's what they look to most. The website, really great if it's a wonderful website, but what they really count on is the coaches. And what they had to say about our coaches is that they're experienced, understanding, personable, accepting, supportive, patient. I think I probably said patient, but kind. You can see kind up there as well. So these are all wonderful qualities that are really consistent with the needs of people living with disabilities, and anyone for that matter. This is Shirley. Shirley's from British Columbia. She completed both IBDE programs, and that's a picture of Shirley at the graduation. I was able to meet her in person. She's from the North Okanagan, so it was a real pleasure to meet her that day. She said, the program saved my life, literally. I felt hopeless, and now I don't feel that way. I feel like I can control my destiny and do something to change my circumstances. It's a process. When disabled, you lose your self-esteem. I am a much better person now. And Mary always had a saying about this quotation. We always thought that Shirley was always a fabulous person. So we do chuckle, but it's a wonderful quotation, and she's a wonderful former client of our programs.
And you're probably seeing that we have a few stories of clients who have taken one program or both programs And that can certainly be beneficial to anybody who can tie the two in together. So, whatever aspect of web technology is part of their career path. But when self-employment comes into it, it's being able to have that continued support to say, okay, I have the skills I need. Now I need help with actually exploring how I'm going to get my business started, what I need to do to operate it. So I think it's a huge value for clients to be able to see that there are additional supports that are potentially available for them within our organization if that's something that will help them to reach their end goal.
Yeah, it's a great pairing of programs for sure. So I want to mention that in that booklet that Kayleen put the link in for our success story booklet, I just wanted to show you some of our success story clients. This booklet was written in 2006, so interestingly enough, we've been in a lot of contact with all these clients over the years, and we're attempting to get in touch with each and every one of them again and update all of the stories with making updates to show how clients' careers have changed or sustained, just how people are doing now. So these are some of our more, the finer moments that some of our clients have experienced, receiving the Queen Elizabeth II Diamond Jubilee Award last 2 years ago now, I guess. A couple of them did that. A book author. One of our clients was on CBC TV, and just really neat. One of our clients has started an amazing nonprofit organization fighting against violence, getting youth going to start projects to raise awareness about violence and hopefully bring some of the horrors that are occurring to an end. So very, very amazing.
And that's so heartwarming just to see, people who we've worked with at the capacity that we have and how hard they've worked to accomplish what they have, just to see them being able to get such special recognition for what they've done. It's really just lovely.
Yeah, it's really, we really have some amazing client success stories. If you care to take a look at that link that Kayleen had supplied.
And as Doug said earlier, I completely agree that, even for clients who go through the process of exploring whether or not they want to run a business, if they leave our services, if they finish our services and they go and say, okay, you know what, I'm happy that I explored this, even if I decide to go a different direction, that makes me happy to know that, it's not one of those stones that they left unturned and they were afraid to try, or I don't know if I can do this. It's like, hey, I explored it, I researched it, I'm happy I've made a decision that I'm going to go a different direction, and they can be at peace and feel like, okay, I'm on the right track, I'm on the path that I need to be.
So I want to turn it back to everyone else here. I've been doing a lot of talking. I want to check in again and ask a general question. This could be considered another fun icebreaker. Which program is a better fit for you and why? Anything under the sun, maybe. Have you participated in our programs or volunteered? Have any of your clients? What has been your experience? So just any input at this point in time after we've gone through presenting both programs. Now I do notice that Jackie has said something about, you had a question, Jackie, about the Business Disabilities presentation, Start This Business. I believe that's what you wrote that comment to. It sounds really interesting. If someone has an old business idea and plan, can they attend?
Of course. It doesn't matter whether it's a state-of-the-art business, whether it's a type of business that's been around for 100 years, you can attend. When we put on the sessions, we differentiate between a service-type business and a product-related business. you're still getting into a business, but sometimes the details in the business plan are less severe if you're starting a service business than if you're getting into a product that perhaps has some patent issues or trademarks or things of that nature. So I encourage you to have a look at the presentations and see whether or not they're appropriate for you. The good thing about the presentation too is that it's not just one-way conversation. It's interactive, and we accept and we welcome the dialogue to be opened right there on the spot. And if we have perhaps 10 or 12 or 15 people attending the session, you might even get some feedback from some of the other participants as well. Some people are concerned that the business that they are entering is an old business, that perhaps there isn't much life left into it, or perhaps it's so state-of-the-art that people might be afraid of buying the product or service. Well, here's an opportunity to sit down with 3 seasoned business coaches, and we'll give you an honest assessment, and if we can't answer your questions, one thing that we will do is we will do some research ourselves or find someone who is expert in the area, and we'll try to bring them to the table and have a conversation with you.
That's great. Thanks, Jackie. We're also looking at putting together a set of sessions called Meet the Banker. So that's kind of what you just said. So yeah, we can put together a session where the business coaches can be critique the old business idea as well.
That's right.
Role playing? Sure. Yeah, Doug has a banker's hat.
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, Coach Jim and I were discussing Meet the Banker scenarios on our way to Nelson. And in fact, just very briefly, I had a client a while back who had a business plan, needed some startup capital to get going, and she had to meet the banker. So she rehearsed with me, and then she went to see her banker, and of course, her banker turned her down. But you know, she had courage. Don't forget that word. And she also was determined that she was going to learn from each. Every time she met a banker, she took notes, and she knew for the next visit which questions to ask and which questions not to ask, and how to formulate that question. She went to see 18 bankers. It took her 18 visits to see if she could get startup funds. She got them. She got a 3-year loan. She repaid the entire loan in 18 months.
Wow.
And instead of 1 location, now she's got 3 locations. She has, it's called UV tanning salons, and I know tanning salons are, you know, it has a certain connotation, then maybe it's not good for you, etc. But she's got a very, very successful business model, and she's been so happy to be part of the program.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So I want to turn now a bit back to Make a Change Canada. We're just going into the home stretch here, and let you know the schedule that's coming up ahead. Again, we have an advanced intake starting on June 1st, 2015, and then our next essentials intake starting October 19th, 2015, and Web Advanced starting May 30th, 2016. Again, we cycle those 2 programs all year long, and we may have 2 intakes per year in future. That's actually the aim. As the program becomes more well-known, we'll have 2 intakes per year, so stay tuned. Business Abilities, again, it's a continuous intake, and those are the website addresses. Really exciting. Upcoming, we have a student showcase and website competition. This is our 5th annual event. Voting will open on Monday, May the 25th, and close Sunday, May the 31st. The really neat thing about this competition is that we feature websites from current year graduates as well as prior year graduates from all previous intakes, so 10 years worth. And you can really see how the websites compare as skills develop over a number of years. And really, prior year graduates have more flexibility in the tools that they can use. They can use some of WordPress as long as it's modified enough to be considered custom. So yeah, it's going to be a great competition, Jackie. So I do encourage you to watch for that and help support our students by voting in the competition.
And we're so lucky because from year to year, you know, we really see some great response from our community partners, you know, employment offices and disability organizations we work with, you know, people who are dealing with our clients or have dealt with our clients in the past who are participating in just showing their support for clients who are showcasing their work. And it's just a great opportunity in my mind that, you know, it can potentially lead to some opportunities for anybody entering a competition to get a little bit more business. So that's always good.
Yeah, there's some very interesting businesses. We've had a client who developed a dressy dog business, so she made flattering costumes, attire, stylish for little dogs. We have another client who's selling fairy gardens online. We have another who's quilting, making quilts out of racing t-shirts that triathletes have collected over the years. There's some really neat websites to take a look at. So again, I just encourage everyone to take note, and please do show your support for our students. Really exciting. It's our 10-year anniversary here at Make a Change Canada. And what we're going to do is turn this into the opportunity to celebrate the challenges that people are overcoming. Celebrate people overcoming their challenges and the organizations and people who support them. We're going to put together an extravaganza that will be broadcast live through Ustream across Canada, and that's to take place on Thursday, October the 8th. We'll start at 4:30 p.m. Pacific, and Toby, that'll be 8:30 p.m. You'll need to tune in at your end in Atlantic. So this is really exciting for us. There's opportunities to volunteer. We will probably have a bit of a fundraising promotion going along the side, and there'll be an opportunity for clients to start their own challenges if they wish, to try and, you know, contribute to the event and raise awareness of our organization, generate some support. We do have a link, and Kayleen's pasted it in the chat area, where you can go and just join on Facebook so that we start building some numbers of attendees. I think it's a little early to be putting it on Facebook, but I think the more the merrier. It's going to be really neat. We've had 2 clients already agree to provide videos to us, so they're going to film their own videos and perform some music, talk about...
Spoil it!
Well, it's going to be neat. We're going to stream a bunch of different videos, and people will be talking about their accomplishments and some of their difficulties. So it's a chance to celebrate the change that's being made.
It's going to be really exciting.
So that's happening, and then to keep in touch with us, please remember to follow us to receive our stories and updates. We're on the major social networks, and we've just got on Instagram, and we'll be on Pinterest here fairly shortly. Constant Contact, we've got a really neat newsletter now coming out on a monthly basis. Every month we feature a volunteer story, and we're also providing some of those updates to our success stories as well as some new success stories. So it's also a great way to get our announcements. So we finally modernized our newsletter, and I think it's quite good. We've got a volunteer working on putting it together each month. So that can come out in your email if you sign up. Also, consider attending an online session. These sessions on our event schedule are open to anyone to attend. I think it's the best way to come out and get a feel for our programs, see our team in action. Consider sharing your story. I may be phoning you up and saying, Jackie, will you share your story? Marlene, Toby, you all have amazing stories. So consider sharing your story. Become involved, become a program ambassador if you like us, flaunt us. We couldn't ask for more. You are our biggest program ambassadors, so We do encourage that. And also remember, we are a charitable organization, so if you have any rich relatives, you believe in our cause, you can always drop a nice suggestion. So at this point, I'm not sure if we have any more comments or questions. Are there any final thoughts from anyone in the room? Did you enjoy today's presentation? Did you learn anything new? Any final thoughts? It's sure been a pleasure for us to have you all here today. Thank you for taking the time out. You enjoyed it? You finally learned what IBDE stands for. Marlene, that's cute. Yeah, that's for sure. Well, that's a good takeaway for sure. Thank you so much, everyone. If you ever need to be in touch, there's our websites and our toll-free number. We always welcome your phone calls and emails. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Great to have you here today.